Hello dear friends, I'm Nika, this is Ruland Club, and I haven't spoke to you for more than a week now, and this week was the most horrible week of my life. You know that I have been through the war in 2014. I was escaping from Donbass when Russian troops started all that chaos there. Don't believe Russian news when they say that it was Ukraine who was bombing Donbass. No, it was not. Ukraine was protecting its land from the troops of Russians. I have been there. So what happened this time? We live in Irpin, which is Kyiv suburb. It's 7 kilometers from Kyiv, and we have been living there for 3 years now. It's located on the northern west part of Kyiv. So Russian troops who were going from the north, from Belarus, they wanted to go through our city, through Gostomel, Bucha, and from them to Irpin, and then to Kyiv, to take Kyiv. The first week we were staying in Irpin. We were doing what we could to stop this war, to help our army. I was cooking warm food for the soldiers. We were gathering some donations to support army, some charity organizations who care about animals, refugees, and so on and so on. We've been doing a lot, honestly. Every day we heard some explosions, some bombs, fights in Gostomel, where was a big airport, which they started bombing from the very first day. We heard it all. It was quite close, but still not in our city, and we were hoping that it will stop. So we were going to stay in Irpin for all this time. But on the 3rd of March, situation changed, and they started shooting from Bucha, which was taken by them, by Russian troops, to Irpin. So the first explosions in Irpin, they happened actually 3rd of March, close to evening. We started to think that we can maybe evacuate somewhere to the west of Ukraine, because it was calmer here. And still we were too scared, because if they already started bombing Irpin, then escaping could be dangerous. So that is why we were hesitating. Should we or should we not? What is this better, to stay at home, to hide in the basement or in the hallway, or to go by car, which is not protected, of course. So until we were hesitating, they said that it became very dangerous to evacuate, because they were shooting even civil cars. So we stayed. On the 3rd of March we stayed, and on 4th of March it was my personal hell, because when they started shooting, they hit houses, living houses, usual houses of people in the northern part of Irpin, where actually we live, where my mother lives, my friend lives. They started bombing that much that first half of the day we all spent in the hall, in the common hall, the hallway. Why? Because there we had wide walls that could protect us, because in our house we have huge windows. I will attach somewhere here photos. We have huge windows, and it was not safe to stay in an apartment, of course. So we were spending all our time there, hearing all those explosions quite close to us. Then they hit our house, like the top of it, quite far away from us, and the house just under our windows. It was a private house, a small one. They reached its fence. I will attach videos as well. I thought it was awful then, but it was not the worst part. After this, in about a half an hour, they started shooting so much that we already started saying goodbye to our lives. I remember that we were sitting on the floor on our knees, covering Cooper because he was shaking like absolutely crazy, and I was shaking too because it was I cannot explain what you feel. I hope you will never feel this way. So we were sitting, and they were bombing it. It was like closer, so close, and then our windows in the hallway were broken, and it was like a slow motion, you know. I hear how those glasses, those like dust, cloud of dust were flying around us. All the small doors in the hallway were opening, and this awful smell of some warm plastic, of dust, very strong one. I even thought at first that it was maybe gas, but gas was cut off by that moment already. So they hit the apartment on my floor, in my entrance, on my floor, my neighbor apartment. It was about 10 meters from us, and of course all the windows in the hallway were broken, and all our stairs were covered all in glass. I was shaken that much. My heart was almost like jumping out of my chest, and I felt so huge weakness in my hands, in my legs. I knew that now we had to go down to the basement because windows were open. It was cold. It was even louder. They could hit the house again. And we decided that it would be safe in the basement. But to go to the basement, we needed to go by stairs from the 5th floor over this broken glass. So my husband, he took Cooper, our dog, Labrador, and went down. I took some things that we had there, our documents, the most necessary stuff, and went by him. We stopped 2 more times on other floors. I think it was 4th floor and then 2nd floor, because they were bombing again somewhere close. And then we continued following down to the basement. In the basement there were already 11 people. The basement is very small. I showed it in my Instagram, in my stories once. So we went there, of course, with our dog. We just stayed there. It was daytime, so basically we spent there all evening. It was a very long evening, and then the whole night, because we were afraid going to our apartment. So we were sleeping on the cold floor, all 3 of us. When we tried to eat something, my husband Michael, he could eat a little bit. I couldn't at all, because, you know, I felt hunger from the morning. I haven't ate anything, but I felt so sick when I smelled any food, any like aroma of food. I just couldn't eat at all. It's the first time in my life. Usually I like to eat a lot, and even in stressful situations I adore eating, but in this moment I couldn't. I needed like a lot of time to pull myself together, at least a little bit. So all this time when we were in the basement, we were thinking what to do next, because if they are coming so close, if they started shooting, they could enter the city. We knew that they used civils to protect themselves. They took civil people to cover themselves from Ukrainian army. So we knew it could happen. We knew they could go to apartments, because they do it. We know it for sure. They do it. So we understood that it's absolutely not safe to stay there. But it also is very, very dangerous to go, because they shoot civil cars. And there are bombing, it's like explosions everywhere. You don't know where they will hit. But still we needed to try. Plus we didn't know if our car was okay, because we knew that after those explosions, after hitting our house, a lot of cars were damaged. So we decided, if we have our car, if it's okay, we will go by it. If no, then we will try to just walk through the blown bridge that we had. We knew that there is evacuation. We couldn't use a train for evacuation, because it was evacuating only women and kids. With dog it was also possible to evacuate, but I had my husband, and also in the city was our friend. We wanted to take him, and of course my mother, who also was in Irpin. And the problem was that we didn't have actually good enough connection. We basically lost any connection, internet, Wi-Fi, mobile internet, even usual mobile connection. So we barely could contact them to discuss details of evacuation. In the morning we saw that our car is okay. Michael put it between the school in our yard and our house, so it was one of a few cars that were still okay. So we put there all our stuff. I took Cooper in my hands. We also took our neighbors to the city center, town center, because 3 women wanted to evacuate by train, so we helped them a little bit. And after that we went to the church, from where usually the columns of evacuation, like car columns, they were going from this place out of Irpin. So we went there. They gave us these tables for the glass in our car, that there are kids evacuation, and after this we still were trying to contact our mother, my mother, and our friend, and it was so fortunate. I was almost in hysterics already, because we couldn't contact good enough with them. It was just some pieces of information that we could give them. And в общем, in a few minutes my mom wrote that I'm already here near the church. I cannot tell how I felt in this moment, because I understood that somebody gave her this trip, somebody brought her by car, and really she went out and somebody took her there. And I'm so grateful to this person, because without it, I don't know, we couldn't go there, we couldn't go to take her, because it was too dangerous area. They could just kill us all. So we hope that she will somehow get out and will come to us. And she could. She's a hero. She's a very brave woman. And the same our friend, he went out. We reached him. We met him successfully. We were violating all the road, like traffic rules. Absolutely, it was not important in this moment. So after this, we went out with a column of cars from Irpin through Stoyanka. There was this checkpoint of Ukrainian army. We successfully passed it, and then we heard new explosion somewhere near. And later we found out that it was Минометный обстрел. I don't know how to say it in English, I don't remember. So it was new bombing of this bridge where people were evacuating. Also they hit the railroad where women and kids should evacuate. They had to evacuate in a minute after this. And also the church from which we just left. Thank God everyone was safe there. But we passed okay. We started our trip. Our friends were waiting for us in Ternopil region where I am right now. This is Ternopil region. So in the first day we spent in our car 14 hours just to reach Berdichev, which is Zhytomyr district. It's quite not far away from Kyiv at all. Usually you'll need 3 hours to go there. But we were taking some village roads because big roads, they were very dangerous. There were fights there. So we took those small roads, circling around the map, and only by the end of the evening we reached Berdichev, where our friends also were waiting us, the family of our friends. On the road we had a problem with our car. One of the pipes for antifreeze was broken. We used scotch, a usual tape, to glue it somehow just to reach the nearest town. We were going on the opposite side of the road, just on huge speed, just in order to reach it somehow, because other way our car will be overheat. I don't know, so it will be too dangerous. It could break it all. So we reached this city. We found a wonderful person who helped us to fix it. We fixed it, and by night already, I think by 11 or so, we reached Berdichev, where our friends, family, they took us so greatly. They feed us, gave us some borscht, warm food. It was like first normal food after 2 days. It was just awesome. The next day we wanted to continue our road here, but we needed some gas, and it was a huge problem. Actually, to imagine what was happening on the roads, you need to imagine that all the people of Kyiv region evacuating by cars, by buses. It was huge lines. Sometimes we were standing in 10, 20 kilometers lines with the speed, 15, 10 kilometers per hour. And of course, there were no gas anywhere at all, like absolutely at all. So the next day in Berdichev, we spent 6.5 hours in the line for the gas. And of course, on this day we couldn't continue our road because all the day we spent for waiting for the gas. And after this, so we had another night stand in Berdichev, and after that we went next morning here to Ternopil, where our friends met us, gave us a night stand, warm food, and all the help that we need. And on the next day we were settling down here. It is here we live in the dormitory of local forest college. This is their territory. They're taking care of it, and we're living here. Cooper is absolutely happy to be here to walk. He really likes it, and we are very, very thankful to stay here, because conditions, good toilet, shower, it's already not so important. The most important is to be okay, to be alive, to have all your relatives, all your close people safe, to see how your dog is being happy running around the forest. This is what is important. This is our story for now. We really hope that soon it all will end. We really hope that it will be peace, and I don't know what else to add. We will rebuild everything. We will make our country even better. So, yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for listening to me. I hope we'll see each other soon again. Bye bye.